Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Miracles, I guess, still happen now and then. Step into my heart, leave your cares behind. Welcome to my world, built with you in mind.
Home is where the heart is. If that's the case, then Elvis Aaron Presley's heart was always here. This was his home. This is Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. This is where the king of rock and roll came to get away from it all. A place where he would enjoy time with family and friends. A place for Elvis to relax at his pool, ride his favorite horse, or have golf cart races around the property. This was Elvis's childhood dream come true, providing a grand home for his beloved parents, Vernon and Gladys, who had never known the finer things in life. A place where Elvis and his wife Priscilla would raise their only child, Lisa Marie. It was also here at the gates and on the grounds that he sometimes greeted fans who had come from everywhere in the world in hope of at least catching a glimpse of him. In all the world, there are few entry gates to any property that are more famous and few homes more recognizable than Graceland. You're about to enter the private world of a man some say was the world's greatest entertainer, Elvis Presley. Graceland has been open for public tours since 1982, and here we bring you a tour of all the areas seen by hundreds of thousands of visitors each year. But this program is also your special access pass to see some sights and perspectives beyond the typical Graceland tour path. So sit back and enjoy your very special tour of Elvis Presley's Graceland. The home was built in 1939 for Ruth Brown Moore and her husband, Dr. Thomas Moore. The acreage Graceland Mansion sits on was once part of a larger tract of land that included the Moore's cattle farm called Graceland Farms. The land had been in Mrs. Moore's family for a number of years. The name Graceland was chosen for the home and farm in honor of Mrs. Moore's aunt, Grace Tuff. Elvis bought Graceland Mansion and approximately 14 acres of land from Mrs. Moore in March of 1957. Back then, the property was situated along a rural stretch of Highway 51, but suburban expansion in the 1960s brought residential and business development all around it. Elvis always wished he had bought more land around the house than he had, but what he did acquire still provided a good buffer of quiet and privacy as Memphis suburbia grew in around him. With his early success, Elvis had been able to buy a nice modern ranch house on Audubon Drive in East Memphis. But as his fame continued to grow, as fans and curiosity seekers swarmed the property and neighbors complained, and as Elvis's financial status continued to escalate, he and his family decided to move to a larger home with some acreage and more privacy. As a youngster, Elvis would tell his parents someday he would be rich and buy them the finest house in town and take care of them, ending their years of hard work and financial struggles. Elvis had been making good on that promise, and its full expression came in the spring of 1957 when 22-year-old Elvis Presley purchased Graceland Mansion and its 14-acre grounds for $102,500. The house had sat empty for a while and was in need of some work. As soon as Elvis purchased Graceland, he began to renovate it and plan its decor, working with a professional interior designer in Elvis style. The soon-to-be megastar packed up his parents and paternal grandmother and moved them all from the Audubon Drive home to Graceland. Elvis had attained the American dream through his seductive, versatile singing and charismatic personality. One of Elvis and Lisa Marie's favorite rooms in the house was the Den, or, as it has become known worldwide since Graceland opened for tours, the Jungle Room. In the early 1960s, during one of Elvis's waves of home improvements, This area was added onto the back of the house just off the kitchen, first as a screened porch and then closed in as a room a few years later. It became a favorite hangout for Elvis and his entourage and looked like a typical den or family room of the era. The custom-designed waterfall was installed at the far end of the room in the mid-60s. It was a handsome addition to the room and a trendy home decor installation at the time. Elvis happened upon the current furnishings for the den and the furnishings for the red look in the living and dining area at a local store in the summer of 1974 and enjoyed quite a shopping spree. The exotically carved wood gives the den a Polynesian look. Elvis reportedly liked it in part because it was reminiscent of Hawaii, where he had enjoyed vacationing, filmmaking, and performing. This wild-looking furniture was also a fad at the time. The green shag carpeting on the floor and ceiling completed the wild look and 70s feel. The large circular chair near the waterfall was so large that the plate glass of one of the windows had to be removed to get it inside when it was delivered. A young Lisa Marie Presley sometimes took her naps in that chair, which was also a good spot for watching Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood on the big TV. In February and October of 1976, the den served as a makeshift recording studio for a series of nighttime sessions.
We're rolling. This will be take 3.
You guys don't desert me on the very first part, you know.
Elvis's contract called for him to deliver some new material to RCA, but he was having a rough year health-wise and had been reluctant to venture to the RCA studios in Nashville to do the work. So the record company brought the studio to Graceland. The den offered a good space, and the carpeting on the ceiling and floor, as well as movers' blankets hung throughout the room, helped with the acoustics. Furniture was moved out, the equipment and musicians came in, and RCA recorded through cables run from a mobile studio truck parked out back.
Baby, getting closer. The lights are going dim. The sound of your breathing has made the mood I'm in.
The February sessions yielded the 10 songs that comprised the album From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee, released in May that year. 2 songs from the February sessions and 4 from those in October were on the Moody Blue album, released in June 1977, with 4 live concert recordings completing the disc. Descending the basement stairs, underneath the main staircase in the foyer, we enter the 2 main basement rooms. To the right, at the base of the stairs, is the pool room, and to the left is the TV room. These rooms provided an area for informal entertaining and a place for Elvis and everyone to hang out and relax. Elvis had these 2 rooms redecorated as you see them in 1974 with the help of his girlfriend Linda Thompson and a local interior designer, Bill Eubanks. For the TV room, Elvis wished for the entertainment center configuration on the far wall to remain in place as it had for many years, and that the decor incorporate a lightning bolt from his TCB logo, taking care of business in a flash. An ultra-modern 70s look was developed with walls painted yellow, dark blue, and white in a trendy super graphics paint scheme, yellow shag carpeting, chrome arc lamps, track lighting, and comfortable dark blue sectional furniture. The existing bar area was revamped and, in the style of the time, and to give the illusion of more spaciousness in this basement room, the ceiling and the fireplace surround were mirrored. And here's a look at some of this room's earlier incarnations. The bar area in 1960, and a picture of the main part of the room from 1963. On the far wall, left to right, are a stereo system, 3 televisions side by side, and a built-in home jukebox system that is wired to speakers all over the house. It is said that Elvis got the triple TV idea from the well-known fact that former President Lyndon Johnson had liked to watch all the evening news programs at once. Elvis liked his televisions. He had as many as 14 throughout the house. There was even one in the dining room. Elvis also had a large pull-down projection screen installed for watching home movies and other films. A framed fabric panel above the bar could be opened for the projector to shine across the room to the screen. The record collection that was here and with his bedroom stereo upstairs illustrates Elvis's diverse and deep interest in music his knowledge extensive, his tastes well cultivated. The collection includes pop, rock and roll, country, classical, and especially gospel and R&B. The 1974 collaboration with designer Bill Eubanks transformed a basic billiard room into a vivid and eclectic blend of styles and eras, a popular approach to decorating then and today. Essentially, the look is turn-of-the-century European with touches of Asia, India, and modern 1970s America. Clearly, the most distinctive effect is the fabric treatment. It took a crew of 3 men about 10 days to cut, piece, pleat, and hang the 350 to 400 yards of brightly colored and patterned cotton fabric on the walls and ceiling. The twin billiard lamps above the table were custom made that year by Lockoff Stained Glass in Memphis. Also the makers of the peacock windows in the living room and the stained glass treatment around the mansion's front door. But like the rest of the house, the basement rooms weren't always an adults-only realm. Young Lisa Marie, with cousins and friends, routinely stirred up some trouble of their own down here. The rambunctious activity reportedly included pool balls flying through the air. There's a part of the billiard lamp that you cannot see on the regular tour. One of the corners was broken by an errant pool ball. Perhaps Elvis's main requirement for starting the redecoration of this room was keeping this pool table that he bought in 1960. Elvis and friends enjoyed playing pool here all through the years. Elvis was an able player, but he was known to reposition a ball to his favor from time to time, probably as a joke or to see which of his entourage might have the wherewithal to challenge him about it. Friends they all were, but Elvis was always the boss. To this day, a corner tear remains in the felt top, reportedly from a friend's attempt at a trick shot that didn't quite work out.